Hello everybody, welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another Chewin' Chat. I'm Ron Rayfield, this is Justine Dorn. Today we have...
gluten cake!
Gluten cake.
That's what we've been calling it. This is actually a cake from the very first cookbook published in America, 1796, American Cookery, written by Amelia Simmons. However, seed cake is a very old cake. It was just, in the book, yeah, it says make a seed cake, but that's not the first time it's ever been mentioned in history. I've seen receipts talk about seed cakes from 100 years before this time period, and this cake was popular, I would say, easily for 200 years. Do you know any cakes besides that were popular for 200 years and really didn't change that much?
Pancakes? Maybe?
Yeah, I guess technically you could call that a cake. Yeah, so I've seen Victorian cookbooks that have seed cakes in them as well. And the one common denominator that all of these receipts have over 200 years is this is a cake for poor people, for farmers, for your everyday kind of working Joe. So we had to try it because that suits us quite well.
Alright, well, I'm going to go and try a piece of this. I have not tried this yet. And if you want to see Justine make this cake and any other meal you see us eat on Frontier Patriot here, please go to our main YouTube channel that is Early American. Over there we cook it.
And here we eat it.
And here we eat it.
And I've already eaten it. I've already tried a piece of it, so I know what to expect.
Well, it looks good. It feels dense.
It's very dense.
So here we go.
And I'm not calling you dense. I'm saying this cake is very dense. So why did I call it a gluten cake? I did that because the original receipt called for 16 cups of flour, and that was enough to make 2 cakes, it said. So I 1/3'd. Actually, no, I think I halved everything. I halved it because I only wanted to make 1 cake, that's right. And that's what I did. So that's still 8 cups of flour. It's 8 cups of flour. It was a little under a cup of sugar and some raisins in there, caraway seeds, and that's why they call them seed cakes, because they always had caraway seeds in them. It doesn't say caraway seeds, but when it says seed cake, you kind of have to know from experience looking back at previous receipts earlier than this one that it's caraway seeds. It's implied that it's caraway seeds. Back then, this was such a common recipe that if you said seed cake, everyone was like, oh yeah, you know, the one with caraway seeds in it. But nowadays, that's lost information. So you have to really read up on previous recipes and then ones that came after it that do say caraway seeds for you to know what in the world seed are they talking about.
Alright, you ready for my official review of this cake?
Yeah, what? There's a lot of flour.
I don't like it. It's, I get why it's for the poor. It's food in your belly.
Yeah.
It is a gluten-thick, dense flour cake with caraway seeds, which reminds me of rye bread.
Do you actually taste the caraway seeds?
I do. I got a bite with some caraway seeds in it. And I don't like rye bread. So it's...
he's a little biased.
I mean, if I was hungry and poor back then, sure, I'd eat it. But today, it's not my thing. Now, maybe it is your thing? I don't know.
I actually really like desserts that have caraway seeds.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty. Speaking of pretty looking.
Who else looks pretty at this table?
It's supposed to do this.
It's Ron, apparently.
There we go.
Ron put some Rogaine on his head a couple days ago. I actually think it might have been one of the cough remedies that we gave him because he woke up the next morning and he had this luscious full head of hair.
So...
don't try it at home.
First of all, thank you everybody for wishing me better. I was better about 24 hours after that. If I ever do get sick, it's usually here and gone really quickly. So thank you for wishing me well and wishing Justine well over the last couple weeks.
Thank you.
I can't say the remedies worked or didn't work. I tried them, obviously, And but anyways, I'm better now. And onto the wig. I have been purchasing.
It's a wig?
It's a wig.
I thought that was your real hair.
Nope, it is not. I've been purchasing more items to complete my persona. In real life, we do more 18th century stuff because St. Genevieve is an 18th century town, and I wanted to move up in society, reenacting speaking. So I contacted a lady in Williamsburg who used to be the head wig maker.
She makes wigs for heads,
yeah.
And she's also the head wig maker.
That's it. The head wig used to be the head wig maker at Williamsburg. Jeez, there's so many W's in there. But anyways,
you should
her name
you should give a link to her.
I don't have a link, but her name is Betty Myers.
Oh.
You can look her up on Facebook, and she came highly recommended to me, and I highly recommend her. She has many styles,
men and women.
And I told her I wanted just a middle class guy like who could still be in the militia, but is a general store clerk or a farmer.
This is actually armored.
Armored?
This is armored, so
It's not armored.
so if you shoot him, it'll bounce off.
No.
It'll bounce off.
Please don't shoot me. So anyways, that's why I have a wig on. I figured may as well show it off. I wore it to the ball. We went to a ball here in St. Gen. There was probably 300 people there. That sounds small to some people,
Remember
but here
the
that's
King's
huge.
Ball?
Yep. That was fun. It's mostly contra dancing, which is French for country dancing. And it was a lot of fun. They have a dance master that calls out the moves, similar to a do-si-do or square dance today, how there's a person that tells you, now swing around, do this, do that. 18th century, 19th century cha-cha slide, if you will.
Yeah, there was no freestyle dancing back then.
Right.
There was a dance, this is the name of the dance, and these are the moves to the dance.
Right.
And it's almost like there was sheet music. So they write down the dance moves on a piece of paper like they would write down the musical notes for a song, and you're supposed to follow them.
And there's like lines and circles and dash marks and twiddly diddlies and but,
yeah.
So there's fancy dancing, there's duets and minuets and ballroom dancing, and then there's contra dance, which is what we did here.
Bow to your partners. Bow to the 9 kids. Sashay, cross and sashay. Sashay back. Cycles now, sashay, cross and sashay back. 9 kids swing with lady one, partner in the middle. Partner in the middle. On to the next, swing lady 2. Partner in the middle.
So there was fiddles, mandolins, something like a banjo. Don't know if that's period correct.
Bass.
I don't know when the banjo was invented, but they had
But
a stand-up bass.
He sang it in Papa French because that's the language that we do around here. Is Papa French.
And the guy we had play at the ball, his band, it's Dennis Stratman. He's very well known. If you know anything about Creole music, you know who Dennis Stratman is. He's got multiple albums out. But
and he's the guy for this area.
But I want to look extra fancy. Justine had her lovely red dress on, so I wanted to look like the gentleman, so I got me some hair.
It's a helmet.
That's...
Someone said it looked like a Lego thing that you just snap on top of your head.
And I've been told by Justine herself, yeah, you can wear that to the wedding.
Ron,
So you guys have all heard this now.
Ron has been nagging me for the last 6 months about wearing a wig to our wedding.
Because we're going to be so dressed up, and you get to wear everything. You have all the bells and whistles. I have everything except for real hair, because I'm going bald. At 34, I'm going bald. So I want to look
You're beautiful
nice.
to
So
me.
anyways, well, thank you. So anyways, that's why I got it. We're moving on.
No, they did not wear wigs by 1820. Ron is wearing and sporting a fabulous wig because we do Rev War all the way up to 1825. So this is his Rev War wig, which is kind of mid to later 18th century. But when did they stop wearing the huge, ridiculous wigs, the kind that we stereotypically associate with Marie Antoinette and all that? I would say by 1790, that's when wigs really started phasing out. After the French Revolution, excess makeup and really ridiculous hairstyles were associated with the uber rich.
But the military officers and judges and servants still wore wigs. But that's mostly for Europe after the French Revolution. Right after the American Revolution, here in America, they really started kind of thinning out.
Yes.
We didn't want to be associated with high society.
Over in Europe.
Yeah,
with,
aristocrat people.
Yeah, with royalty.
Yeah. And for those that say, well, George Washington wore a wig, he didn't. That was his real hair. Did he powder it? Yes. But he never wore a wig. He had a full head of hair. He's actually redheaded.
Oh, I didn't know that he was redheaded. Okay.
Not a full blood redhead, but like the reddish brown.
A blondish or brown?
Reddish brown, like mine is sometimes. Yeah.
I'm gonna pour myself up some tea. My chicken is throwing up.
Speaking of chickens, our chickens are doing great. We got 6 hens. They're pooping out an egg a day, so we're getting 6 eggs a day.
It's crazy how many eggs we're getting.
And I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat this. I don't like it though, but it is. I'm hungry.
We haven't been on a roll lately with the good recipes. I mean, that ain't really the point of the channel though. We're just trying to recreate recipes, whether they're good or bad. It doesn't really matter to us. It's all fun at the end of the day.
Right.
But yeah, between the shrimp pie and this, we haven't really been on a roll lately with the good recipes. And I did find another cheap seed cake recipe, as it said in the title, from 1823 from American Domestic Cookery, that cookbook. But it was probably worse than this one. It called for even more flour. It's like, the cake is basically just flour mixed with milk, and there's some butter in it, and raisins.
Well, it's so dense, when it goes in you, it's like bricks
dense.
in your stomach.
Yeah, so cakes of this time period did not have baking soda or baking powder, which is something that we take really for granted nowadays, and it has completely changed how we view what is an acceptable cake. Or even, some people even add a little bit to bread and biscuits and whatnot. But this would not be an acceptable cake by today's standards, but that's because this is free of the leavening agents that we take for granted today. So it's extremely dense.
There's no fluff.
There's no fluff to it. And that is why cakes of this time period were often baked flat, like cookies. But this is one of those rare times that the cake was actually supposed to be cooked in a loaf. Like a modern cake.
The dunking in milk is helping it.
I see. So like we mentioned just a little bit before, we went to the King's Ball this Saturday, and Ron thinks that this is the highest turnout they've ever had.
Yeah.
It was actually my first time going there, and what do you think, there were 400, 300 people?
Probably about 300 people.
At a ball? That's
That might not
incredible.
sound like much to some of you, but we're a very small town.
It's a little country ball.
Yeah. So when you get that many people in there, it's good. It was a success. Yes.
Yeah, I had a really, really good night. It was fantastic. And I even managed to drag my baby brother out there.
Yeah.
My brother, his name is Matthew. We call him Matt. I just call him Monkey. And he calls me Beanie. He is the gentleman in the white breeches with the dark green waistcoat on here.
Mm-hmm.
That is my brother Matt, my one and only brother.
He actually had a good time.
He had a really good time.
I don't think he's ready to sign up with us, but he said he wouldn't mind attending if there's ever something else like this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was raving about it after, so he definitely had a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So how about some of the American history facts, Ron?
Oh yeah, so this week in American history, we got some cool ones here.
Where'd he whip that out from? He just pulled that
Under
out?
the cloth. Alrighty, here, let's see. So this week in history, this is the first week of February. In 1778, France officially recognizes the United States as a new republic nation.
Thank you, France.
Yes, thank you.
When did that happen?
In 1778.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then they gave us a bunch of guns and clothing, uniforms, and sent some soldiers and some ships, and
Which we really appreciate.
helped us beat Britain.
Thank
Let's
you.
see, the next one's pretty cool. In 1804,
First
on
one.
February 7th, a man named John Deere is born.
The John Deere?
Yes, it's the same man who founded the John Deere Tractor Company in
1804?
1880. So he founded it at a very old age. But he was born in 1804 on February 7th.
I always associated John Deere with being an early 20th century kind of thing.
You guys know that song, right, by Joe Diffie? John Deere, green doo 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 doo. On a hot summer night, he wrote Billy Bob Love Charlene.
Never heard
And
it.
okay, whatever. Anyways, karaoke session over.
Take your word for it.
Alright,
Dismissed.
the next one I got here is the opera. In 1735, the first opera opens in America.
Wow.
Any guesses where it is? Can't see.
Oh, okay, let me think. Philadelphia? That was even a place.
Do you need a phone?
Boston?
Friend? Nope.
Okay, let me phone a friend.
It's south.
Oh, South?
Yes.
New Orleans?
Too far south.
South?
What?
It's
What?
some
What was it?
some Carolina in the Carolinas?
Yes. Charleston, South Carolina. Hosted the first opera in 1735.
That is really cool.
Let's see here.
I didn't know that.
On February 9th, 1773, our ninth president of the United States, William Henry Harrison, was born.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Alright, let's see. Here's one from our time period, 1825. Or actually, it's 1824. During the presidential election, neither candidate received enough of majority vote, so Congress had to vote to elect the president, and they elected
Wow.
our sixth president officially in February 1825, John Quincy Adams.
So
That's John Adams' son.
that's so weird that neither of them got enough votes.
It was, yeah, you had to get so many electoral votes, and neither of them reached that goal. So I guess it was like a draw. So Congress took a vote to be the deciding factor. And then I got one left for you. It's in the future. It's 1870. I thought this was interesting. In 1870, the U.S. Army established the National Weather Service. I did not know that.
So the National Weather Service was established by the military.
Yes, by the U.S. Army in 1870.
A lot of things were established by the military, like highways were.
Right. But I thought National Weather Service, it's still called that today, you know.
I thought
that was like maybe from the
40s or
something.
50s.
Yeah, once they had satellites.
Once they had TV. I'm so ignorant. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 1870.
That is really neat.
That's crazy.
That is really, really neat. Well, thank you, Ron.
Yeah, so that's all I got for this week in history.
That's enough. That's pretty neat. And you mentioning 1840s, 1850s made me think of something. So
What's
this is totally random and unrelated to anything that's on this table. It's just my personal thing. I really love thrifting at thrift stores. And I got that from my mom. Ever since I was a kid, my mom and I, to have fun, we would go to Goodwill and the Salvation Army and little like Christian thrift stores. My mom would always say it's a sin to spend money on brand new clothes when you can buy used clothes that are perfectly fine and wear that. So I love going thrifting, and thankfully I can drag Ron with me to go thrifting everywhere I go now.
It's okay. I like antique malls.
Oh,
but,
I love
but
antique
thrifting's fun
malls.
too.
Yeah, both of us, we love antique malls, we love thrifting. So we went to Goodwill a couple days ago, and I got two things that are from the 40s and the 50s. And I just thought I would share that with you.
Sure.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff. I got like cardigans and I got a dress. But I don't know if you guys are really interested. This ain't really that kind of channel where I show off my thrift finds. It's just me opening up and
But
saying...
this channel is the behind the scenes of Really American. So they get to know us as real people, kind of.
Well, I'm just going to show you my aprons.
Just show it.
Okay. So, I collect aprons, which you might have figured that out by now because it seems like every week I'm in a different apron. But these ones are...
Oops.
Ron, what did you just do? Did it drop back in the milk?
Yes.
Get a grip of yourself, man.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Dang it.
Darn it. It's okay, Ron. Anyway, this is my first apron that I got. This style made me think that this is from the 40s or the 50s. It could be a little bit earlier, but I highly doubt it. I got these aprons for $9 each.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, and they are like 70, 80, 90 years old. And they're in incredible shape. So this is your, I guess, your classic grandma style. Because, I mean, it covers everything. So if you're making bread or whatever, you won't get flour on you. I'm wearing an apron on top of an apron right now.
Well, in 50 years, you won't have to worry about buying any. You already got them.
Yeah, apron inception. I have an apron on top of an apron. So that is apron number 1 that I got while thrifting with Ronnie.
Very nice.
Yes. And
That's a lovely day today, by the way.
Oh,
We have
yeah,
the windows
it is.
open. It's February, the first week, and it's 65 degrees outside.
it is really nice out. And by the way, I do post pictures of all the things I find at thrift stores, but I post them on my private Facebook, and that's only for my family
Mm-hmm.
and my like really in-person personal friends. So I guess I can make the post public so you can see, but that is just for my friends.
But you do put stuff for the fans on Instagram.
Yeah, my Instagram is public,
Yeah.
but my Facebook is private just because I don't want my feed to get muddled with people I don't know,
Right.
and then I end up not finding out that my aunt, something happened in her life because I don't see, because it's
Mm-hmm.
buried under the like 50 strangers stuff, you know? So I prioritize my family and stuff on there, but my Instagram is public. Anyway, I just didn't really think you guys would be interested in this hobby of mine, but figured I'd try it out and see if you guys think it's cool or not. I love going to thrift stores, have been for years. It's, my mom and I say it's our favorite boutique store. So this is the other one that I got. And it's yellow, it has a print of flowers on it. Again, it's probably from the 40s, maybe the 50s.
This one actually matches your dress because it has
Yeah.
flowers on it too. The
Yeah.
same size of flowers, just about.
Yeah. So just me and my apron collection.
Very nice.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
And if you don't want to wear the bib part, you can always tuck it under,
Yeah.
like you do right now. These historic ones, they have bibs, and today she has it tucked under, so you can wear an apron multiple ways.
Yes, and they both have pockets. Both of these aprons have pockets.
Pockets are handy.
Oh, you know, ladies, we like pockets. That's
You can keep your chicken feed in there and just.
that's one of the things that makes me realize that the modern world is really going back in terms of civility. Is the fact we don't have pockets. Take me out of this ride. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in this time period if we don't got pockets. So anyway, that's my little random side note about what I do with my free time. I collect aprons and I go thrifting. So if I can find aprons from a thrift store, that's even better, right?
Right.
And if anyone's wondering where Mishmish is, he is asleep in that red chair over there.
Come here, buddy. What is it, buddy?
Meow.
What you doing? Want to say hello to everybody? Looky.
Hi, Mishmish.
Wave. Hello, America. Hi.
Hello, America. Hello, everyone else. Well, I think we'll sign off now.
I think so.
So thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate the company. Give your feedback on anything that you saw today. And if you want to try out this cake, go for it. I'll warn you, by modern tastes, it is very different. It's very dense. It's not very sweet. And it's, if you have celiac disease or you cannot eat gluten, Lord, stay away from this. Don't even think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Take care, and we love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.